I am rolling. Who are you? What are you running for, and who's your party?
My name is Morning Lee. I'm running for Vancouver City Council and with NPA team.
Amazing. What are your top 3 priorities?
My number 1 is downtown east side, and the number 2 is a hate crime. Yeah, so those 2 are my priority. And of course, I care about the house affordability. I care about the education, for example, the honors program and liaison program, these kind of things. And I care about the development and the building permit. And it's too long to get the permit. And I care about all these kind of things. But the number 1 is downtown east side and hate crime.
Right. So what made you focus, like from a personal point of view, because you were one of the very few people who actually mentioned the downtown east side in their top 3 priorities. Mm-hmm. What led you to that? What is your connection?
Okay.
Yeah.
First of all, and the reason made me move to Canada, downtown east side is the one. And 18 years ago, in 2004, I was a visitor in Vancouver. I did not decide to move to Canada yet. But after 2 weeks of visiting, I decided, okay, it's a good place and it's a very nice place. Let me move to Vancouver. But before I make the final decision, I wanted to take a look at where is the dark side of the Vancouver, where is the bad location. So I asked local people, and where's the dark side of Vancouver? People told me Hastings. And then I went to Hastings. I spent a few hours there and walked around and took a look. And you know what? My feeling was not bad. How come it's a dark side? It's not very bad.
Yeah.
It's acceptable.
Yeah.
That's 18 years ago in 2004. So I decided.
That's a really interesting. Sorry to pause you there, but that's a really interesting perspective, because I think as like North Americans, we're not used to seeing like a street that has like food vendors and people outside. Like not everyone's sidewalks are completely clear in every city in the world, right? Mm-hmm. But yeah, sorry, continue. Yeah.
That's okay. And then after I took a look and I decided, okay, that it's not bad. It's totally acceptable for me. So I decided to move to Canada. But
that's so fascinating.
That's right. But a few years later, it's getting worse and worse. And in 2018, I told myself, no, I cannot watch the Vancouver going down like that anymore. So that's why in 2018, I told myself I cannot rely on other people and to run the city like this. So I must stand up. So that's why in 2018, I stood up and to run the Vancouver City Councilor. But
with similar priorities?
Yes, yeah. Because downtown east side is the number 1 for me at that time.
So that was still
It's still here. And unfortunately, I was not successful for the election. And I still get hope, and people can make it better. But take a look at what's going on right now. 4 years later, right now in 2022, it's better?
Absolutely not.
No, it's not better. It's getting worse and worse. It's totally not acceptable, even in 2018. So that's why this time I must stand up again. I cannot rely on people and to continue to damage Vancouver like that.
That's really beautiful to hear, and it's really interesting as someone who hasn't lived here their whole life. Like for me, I haven't lived here my whole life, but enough of my childhood to feel like this is my problem. This is my city.
It is my problem.
So it's really beautiful and interesting to hear as like someone who came to Canada later in their life, that you would still, that would jump out at you as something you wanted to.
Thank you for saying that. And you know what? For many times, many winter nights, I went to downtown east side, Hastings, and I delivered winter jackets, socks, and shoes, and to the homeless people. And because I think that's my problem. I should do something. I should contribute something. Mm-hmm. And you know what? I talk to people on the street. and sleeping on the street. And I found out most of the people, maybe 70% or 80%, they are drug users. And for the rest of them, most of them are like a mental patients, something like that.
Yeah, that's
so
a big.
I found out that's the problem. The drug actually is behind the homeless problem. It's behind the downtown east side problem.
And in terms of, like it's saying drugs and mental health is one thing, but addiction is part of mental health. So it's kind of all linked together. You know what I mean? You don't necessarily, for the most part, end up on hard drugs unless you've had some sort of trauma that's giving you mental health issues, right?
Yeah, that's
so
right.
It goes around and around. If people aren't just out there because they tried heroin one day and then they slept in the street forever. No, they were running away from something personal.
That's right.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I really respect the humanity of how you viewed this area.
Because it's at my home. Vancouver is my home. I don't want, my next generations or, my kids later, and they tell me, hey, Daddy, you made a mistake to move to Vancouver. No, I did not make a mistake. I made the right decision to move to Vancouver because I did not do enough and let other people to damage Vancouver like that. So that's why I want to contribute and to fix it. And if other people, they cannot fix it, I will do that. So that's the reason. And I want to prove to my kids, my next following generations, and I made, right decision to move to Vancouver.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. What does housing mean to you? Because it feels like it gets used in maybe like at least 4 ways. Like there's construction, there's, rent control, there's, and then at the other end, this man has 2 phones. He's very busy.
Sorry. Let me hang up first.
I think the SkyTrain covered it up anyway.
Okay. Sorry.
But so like for example, like Kennedy's been very lazy on the campaigning and then came out with a like housing is important, and he said this sob story about how his dad lost his job and they lost their house. And I just found that super insulting to come out with a campaign like that painted him as a victim when he knows full well that there are people living in tent. Like I can see a tent behind your head right now.
Yeah.
So for you to conflate losing a mortgage, defaulting on a mortgage is not the same thing as living in a tent. And making that a campaign thing without mentioning the other, it really grossed me out. So,
if individuals get a problem and they cannot afford or something, it's not the society's problem. It's an individual problem. But if many people cannot get a home, cannot afford the housing, and that's society problem. That's the city's problem. So for me, we need a solution. We just, I'm not going to talk about the mortgage or the development or developer only. It's the whole solution. Just like a downtown east side, it's not only about the homeless or drugs or crimes. We need the whole solution to resolve the problem. For housing, it's the same thing. What I want is, and I want to guarantee every single people, as long as they are working in Vancouver, and as long as they have some small businesses, they are serving Vancouver, they deserve one home in Vancouver. And we need some like small special program to support this kind of people if they cannot afford rent or purchasing, and to make sure every single people, they have home if they want. If they choose to go to Burnaby or Langley, that's their choice. But if they want, they can have that. But for this kind of program or zoning or something, and we need to make sure the rich people cannot take advantage of this kind of program.
Yeah, that is a really big part of housing that I kind of didn't see at first, but meeting people and research and such. Actually, it was Nancy Trigueros mentioned that, one aspect of solving the housing so-called crisis is, instead of the homeless crisis, but that there's solutions like, you know, the amount that your rent can go, say for like a regular single person trying to rent in Vancouver. First of all, you can't have a place to yourself unless it's an SRO, or a former SRO that's been done up again. You know, and it kind of has this like vacation village kind of feel that everyone has to, you know, come down into the town to serve the tourists and the people who have, you know. Yeah, sorry, I'm kind of gone off topic. Someone distracted me in the background. But okay, so what are your specific plans for homelessness?
For homeless people, and I don't blame on them. I blame on the city hall, the people that are running the city. So I don't think they are the problem. I think the city is the problem. So the solution is because the reason and to cause the homeless and the downtown east side is drug problem. So we need to resolve the drug problem. And I know the city right now, they are focusing on the harm reduction. And harm reduction is not bad, but only harm reduction is not the solution. And we need a prevention first. That's number one, prevention. We need to stop people coming to this kind of trouble, the drug problem. And you know, that's the number one. We must focus, we must pay money or resources and to stop people, especially for teenager people, young people. They don't know the problem for the drugs and they want to try maybe, right? So if we deliver the wrong information, wrong message to the young people, right now that's what they are doing. The message from the city hall, from the BC government, they are delivering the wrong message to my kids, to many kids, teenagers. They think, oh, drugs is not a problem. And it's free, even free. You can get free drugs from the city hall or something, and pure cocaine or something. That's the wrong message. So that's number one, prevention. Okay. So the second one is.
But sorry to say, like, are you saying that safe supply isn't something you agree with, or?
The safe supply is not the solution for the homeless and the drug problem. The safe supply. And if it's okay, but based on two things. The first one is prevention.
Yeah, but of course, I understand that, like, as from a you know, like a young person, like that you want to stop them from getting into that situation. Yeah. But you know, safe supply to me does not mean that I can go to 7-Eleven and buy cocaine.
I know.
Right.
I know. Yeah.
So there's a lot of aspects of that need to be addressed. It's not one thing or another. So it's like, you know, the things that you notice. But
I don't oppose safe supply. Safe supply is okay, is right. But if there's no other things like a prevention or treatment, no, they are not helping people. They are killing people.
Okay, and then beyond addiction, the actual physical housing of people, what does that look like for you?
Sorry, what was
like that? So like it's particularly for people who are in tents and or even less, just laying on the street right now. What are the steps that you would take to get people off of the street?
That's number two. I'm going to talk about the treatment. So,
no, but like, no, I mean, that's why I'm saying, like, outside of addiction, like, let's take that away, take away people's mental health. Just if as humans that are living outside, where do those people go, and like, what is the way forward? Okay, so if that makes sense. Yeah. So for the people, they are living on the street or in the tents, we need to figure out why they are living there. If they like, if that's their lifestyle, and we cannot do anything, right? If that's their choice. But if they are drug users or they are mental patients, and we need to treat them like patients, and we need to get doctors and try to help them to get out of that kind of situation. So we need to go to every single individual to figure out why they are there.
why they are here.
I mean, there's a lot of work that's already been done on that. So, cross out what, when, why, but how, like, is that building
Yes, we need some building, but right now the current situation, the current SRO single room or something, that one is not okay. We need a better situation for them. They are human beings. They need something. They need hot water. They need all these kind of supplies. They need all these kind of amenities. And so we need to treat them like a patient, not like a criminal or something, and in the cell.
I can't say that I agree with that because, like, I live downtown. I live on Hastings in an SRO. I'm not a patient, but the conditions that I live in are not okay.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. It's not okay. So we need to treat every single people as a human being and figure out what they need, what they want, what's going on with them, and then try to fix the problem. We cannot treat them like a group of people.
Well, I think you can, though. When people are living outside, it's not a person-to-person situation. It's like COVID. Everyone could get COVID.
Yes.
And emergency measures were brought in. So that kind of shows how malleable our government is. And the research has been done, like I could consult on it myself. And it just seems like I'm not really clear on where this housing or how much of it is actually possible. So is the NPA like clear on that?
You mean the NPA policy about this kind of thing?
Yeah.
Because we need to do more research about these kind of things, right? But the roughly idea is we need more building to treat every people. We don't want them to live on the street. We want them to get a better treatment if they are patients. If they are not, and they just need a room, and we need to give them like a better situation, better room, and with all the amenities.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. We need more building.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah. What about sorry, I'm giving you such hard questions.
That's okay. We are talking, from heart to heart.
Yes, exactly.
I just want to resolve the problems.
Yeah. And I'm doing this. Like I've chosen everyone, but I want to meet them as well to make sure that I understood what I read correctly. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I've heard a bit about, because I really liked the research that I had on Fred Harding.
Okay.
So he's the NPA mayoral candidate for people watching. And I've got kind of like mixed information. I really want to meet him myself.
Okay.
I'm going to call him or something if I don't hear back. Because he came off really strong and just like, almost like apolitically just competent to me. Like he's a smart guy. He seemed like a thoughtful, even-keeled person. But then there's these party politics and stuff now that I've done a few of these things.
Yeah.
So what are some of the things that people are misunderstanding about the NPA right now, would you say? Like, is there anything
about NPA?
Yeah.
People misunderstanding. I think some people say, NPA is separating, and people left, something like that.
Oh, okay.
As an organization and as a company or organization, and people always come and go.
Yeah.
Right. And some people, if their vision or if what they did or if what they want and don't match what NPA's vision or what NPA want, and got separated. That's normal, right? For every single organization or company, it's the same thing. Yeah. So I don't blame on that. I don't blame on other people they left. And I think they have different vision, they have a different decision. I hope they will do very well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is the overall party feeling about the idea of defunding the police in some shape or form.
I don't understand this question.
So like, have you heard of, like, it's kind of like a quote now, defund the police?
Defund the police.
Yeah.
No, we don't support defunding the police.
Okay, what is your what do you suggest? What is
My
the party?
suggestion
What's
is-
the party line, I guess?
Okay. I think the police department is very important for people. And for example, for myself, and I got a hate crime, and a few days ago I got a phone call, and one guy called me, called Michael D or something, from a phone number from Ontario, and just cursed me and said some like hate crime or discrimination, this kind of words, and then hung up.
Right.
And what can I do? I call back, or I do something to this guy? No, that's not right? So my choice is only to report to the police because it's a hate crime. But the problem is, they have no resource probably. And I called 4 times, and I got no response. I listened to the music, and one time it's 19 minutes, another one is 29 minutes, and then totally probably around 1 hour, I got nothing. I even did not report to the police yet. So it's not a big problem. It's not a big deal. I give up. I don't want to report to the police anymore. But think about if someone got hurt, got real big trouble.
Yeah, no, when like I said that to you as, it's kind of a catchphrase a little, not to demean it, but there's kind of like a more that the saying defund the police is kind of the emotional saying.
I know.
Right? And then the actual way that can happen is kind of like refinancing, retraining,
I support that part.
Okay.
Yeah, so I believe, I know, and everybody knows, there are some bad potatoes in the police department or the organization. That's just like all other organizations, some bad people. Yeah, so for this kind of people, we need to charge them or to do something about that. But we cannot say the whole police department or the whole police group and are bad people. We cannot say that, right?
Yeah. Like I'm not. It's the police. It's complicated because I'm a little. I've had very, very bad experiences, and I'm sure you understand that. Looking the way that you do and me looking the way that I do, I have some more problems with the police probably.
I just want to tell you one story. Sorry to interrupt.
No, it's okay.
I got a problem with the police as well. Like 10 years ago, and I got trouble with the police as well. And what I did is I made complaint against them and all the way down to the commissioner or something. And so, but I still believe police.
Yeah, but but that's a very mild example of dealing with the police. So you have to understand that like I'll even skip myself as a black person because it's really indigenous people. They can't even tell the police when they've been kidnapped because they don't think they'll get a response because they think they'll be in trouble. Mm-hmm. So like on that more serious scale, you have to understand that it's like obviously you're saying there's things wrong with the police department, but that is a very light side of it, if you will. If you've never been handcuffed, if you've never been slammed, if you
they did it by mistake, and that's why I told them you're making mistake and you got the wrong person, you got trouble, but they still did that. But a few minutes later, after they checked out and then they released me, and I need a sorry. I need to apologize. That's all I need.
Yeah. Well, most people don't even get released, unfortunately. Yeah. What do you think went wrong with the last mayor and council?
Many things are wrong. Take a look at what's going on, right? Take a look at what's going on. They wasted the money, and so that's why they increased the taxes, and take a look at what they're doing in the downtown east side. They shut down the water, right? They did many bad things right now. And so they're not resolving the problem. They are making the problem getting bigger and bigger.
Absolutely. What will you do better?
Okay, so we want to resolve the problem. I want to resolve the problem. So in our party, we are talking about the public safety. Yes, I believe public safety is a big problem. For me, public safety is downtown east side. That's the root cause. And homeless, I'm not blaming on homeless people, okay? The situation, the drug users. I'm not saying drug users and they are the problem. They are not.
But there's no crossover crime in the downtown east side. Like if you're not from there, nothing happens to you. So that kind of like confuses me as a crime concern for the city. Because paths don't cross, and if young kids are walking on, wealthy kids are walking on the block, they're not going to attack them or rob them or anything like that.
But the problem is that people don't come anymore. Even the Chinatown area, they got a problem. The business cannot get the customers anymore. So we want to resolve the problem, and it's not good for people. They are living on the street. It's not good for them. It's not good for the neighbor. It's not good for the area. It's not good for the city. So like we talked before, we want to get a solution, and if they need help, we want to help them. If they need treatment, we need give them treatment to get out of the trouble for them.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, and then the very last question, because I've grilled you so hard.
I know, it's not an easy job to hold as a cell phone, right? I'm sorry about that. If you told me I can take one like a tripod or something.
Yeah. Yeah, you might be the longest, but it's my fault. It's my fault. What do you have no idea what to do? So what do you not know how to do?
Okay, tell you the truth. I don't know what's really going on, and where the money go.
I think that's
I need to
fair.
I need to go to take a look where the money gone. Where the money went.
Yeah.
I need to take a look at the book, and we want to reduce the waste, the expense. And I believe there are many money, or there's too much money I spent to somewhere we don't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
I want to take a look at all the concerns. That's the thing I don't know.
Trust me, a lot of people have tried, so I've tried as well, so easier said than done. Thank you so much. Your name, what you're running for, your party, and how we can find you on the internet.
Okay, so my name is Morning Lee, and my party is NPA. I'm running for Vancouver City Council, and if you want to find me, and you can just use Google, search Morning Lee. You will get my contact information, my website, my YouTube channels, and even some bad videos that people think is bad. No, it's not that bad, okay? All my videos, and the intention is trying to help people, okay? If you need any help, let me know. And so I will try my best to help you. And even I'm not a counselor, and I will help people. Because what I believe is helping people is helping myself. So that's my vision, help more people. That's what I believe. And also I believe anything is possible. Whatever you are experiencing right now, maybe bad situation, maybe normal, maybe good, and anything is possible as long as you have a dream and you will make the dream come true. So anything is possible. That's what I believe. Help more people. That's what I believe.
Beautiful. Thank you so much for your time,
you.
Morning. And the extra grilling.
Okay.